right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the second season of the Milkway for Youth podcast. We are doing episode 5 of this podcast. We have done an episode featuring stories from Kenya, an episode featuring stories from Zambia. And so before I tell you what the stories are, my name is Warindi, and I'm joined by Bertha and Vilda, who are co-hosts of this podcast. In this particular season of the Milkway for Youth podcast, we are telling impact stories from the Milkway program. And just as a reminder, the Milkway program seeks to break barriers to accessing sexual and reproductive health and rights by applying an intersectional lens. So the Milkway program has been active for the last 5 years, and we have different contexts in different countries. We have Kenya, Zambia, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Rwanda. And our stories today are from Rwanda. And so we are joined by two young people, Fillete and Eric. But before I ask them to introduce themselves and tell us what they do, I would like to invite my co-hosts, Vilda and Bertha, to say hi to our audience. Vilda, over to you.
Hi, thank you for joining us. Looking forward to us interacting. Thank you.
Thank you, Vilda. Bertha?
Hi, everyone. We're excited to have you tuned in onto this podcast. Please do stay back and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I would like to now ask our guests, fantastic guests. We have Fidel, Eric, and Fillete, to introduce themselves, tell us who they are and what they do. We can start with you, Fillete.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for inviting Team Rwanda to this wonderful podcast. My name's Mbabazi Fillete, one of the youth panel in the Mekwe program, but also I work in one of the collaborative partners as a programs officer. And I'm happy to be with you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fillete. Just to ask, which CP are you a program officer in?
Learn, work, develop.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Fidel, over to you, and Eric. Please introduce yourselves and what you do. Over to you, Fidel.
Let's start with Eric. Good afternoon. I hope here in Rwanda is in the afternoon. So I would like to thank you for welcoming us. My name is Ngabonziza Eric. I'm deaf, and I'm one of the Mekwe panel, panelists here in Rwanda, and also Youth Council Disability Wing. And also I'm PMF, Project Manager Column, part of that. Hope you are aware with that terms. And I'm happy really to be with you today, because you have many things to share during these 5 years being a part of Mekwe, and we are really happy to share with you. Thank you. And Eric is saying, please, my interpreter, introduce yourself. Yeah,
yes.
Because I'm deaf, of course, I have an interpreter, the voice you're hearing. Yeah, my name is Fidel. I'm a sign language interpreter. I've been working with the Mekwe program for all these 5 years as a sign language interpreter. But I also work as a sign language interpreter on Rwanda television.
All right. Thank you, Fidel, and thank you, Eric. I'd like to jump on to understanding how the Mekwe program has been impactful in your life. As we mentioned, this program has been running for the last 5 years, and I'm honored to have spent 3 of the 5 years with everyone here in different contexts of the Mekwe program. And so I wanted to ask you, as we're starting with Fillete, how do you see that you've changed either personally and professionally since this program has started? What has been the impact of this program in your life? And if you can share any defining moment that made you realize the impact of this program in your life.
Thank you very much, Warindi. I would say Mekwe has really changed me, has impacted my life in one way or two ways. First of all, it has changed my way of thinking, my way of viewing certain situations. As you know, we advocate for AAQ SRHR services specifically in young people with compounded vulnerabilities. As a person who has lived in Kigali for almost ever since I was born in Kigali and grown up in an urban setting, I really did not think that there are some people, yes, we might be having some difficulties, but then there are some people who do not have any way of accessing a very important service as SRHR in their lives. I would generalize. I would never think that there are people with, young people with disabilities, young people with in different hard situations that cannot be able to access different services, more especially when it comes to SRHR, which is a very important one. So when I joined Mekwe, there is a way we had different capacity buildings on around different things, on what vulnerability is, on what intersectionality is, intersection. A lot of things were learned during the process. In this, I would say 3 years, because I joined 2 years after Mekwe had started. I have learned a lot, and I have learned to be inclusive enough, because I used to think, I was living, maybe I would say I was kind of selfish when it comes to viewing different identities. I would never think that a young person with a hearing impairment would need an interpreter in their daily lives. So I've learned to view different vulnerabilities, but also know that these vulnerabilities should be accommodated in order to enjoy the services or their rights. I have also been able, maybe I can talk of a situation that really completely showed me that Mekwe was doing a great work with me. I was in a training of disability rights when I realized that I needed to learn sign languages. Sign language. I'm sorry, it's a language, it's not languages. I really needed, because when I wanted to talk to Elik or Eza in Mekwe, I would require an interpreter. And I did not find it, it did not sound good, or it did not make sense to me, as in, why can't I be able to learn sign languages so I can be able to communicate? Probably this person has a confidential message they want to share with me, and now I'm involving the third party. So I remember after the training, as soon as we completed the training, I joined our NUD program where we were being taught sign languages, and I was willing to pay whatever it took, the fees it required for me to learn sign languages. That wasn't, I'm not saying, it was a little bit of being inclusive, but I've also learned to accommodate. I've also learned to advocate and show the whole world that these young people deserve their rights. These young people, before viewing their vulnerability, we should recognize the fact that they deserve their rights and they need to enjoy rights as any other person who has no any vulnerability. So I would say, to sum it up all, that Mekwe has really shifted my way of thinking to being more inclusive when I'm designing different activities, different programs, and I am one of the people who are training Mekwe on the intersectional tools, which are very helpful in different activities. As a programs officer, as I mentioned before, I have learned to accommodate, to intersectionalize everything, and these tools are doing great work in different organizations that have been able to embrace and put them at use. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fillete. I think we really do share the same experience, because for me, one of the most impactful things for Mikwe is that it's from being in this program, it's that I've been able to understand disability justice and also understand intersectionality in a much deeper way than I had before. And I actually commend you for the steps you've taken to learn sign language. That's very, very commendable. And so we move on to you, Eric. How have you, on the same question on how you've changed, you view that you've changed personally or professionally as being part of the Milkway program, and if you have any defining moments that made you realize what the impact of this program in your life was. Over to you, Eric and Fidel.
Thank you. Thank you very much to give me the phone. This is a really good question. The time I was not yet joining Mekwe, it was the time that I start to grow personally and start even chatting with the big people with the high profile. And at that I was as young, and I was really motivated to see the leaders, the CEO, the EDs, founder of organization, just even inviting me, please come and take part in what we are doing. And it started building me personally. So I can say that Mekwe, being a part of Mekwe, it made me strong and be capable of handling many things. Because it was, I can say that it was a kind of guidance, mentorship in everything, in each and activity that we are implementing. I remember one of our partner Fawe here in Rwanda, he invited me to go and look what they are implementing in the Eastern province. And during that campaign, I was just there. But the time they were presenting, they said, we have the youth who have experience in accessibility. Can you please, Elik, come and share with the other youth here for that they can copy you? And they said, please, Elik, come and share with us your experience. What are you going through? What do you think people can change in their life in order to welcome person with disabilities without discriminating them? It was my first time to stand before the big crowd there, you know. So, but the fact that I shared with them my experience, and they were really motivated. Even the crowd were clapping. So it really built my confidence. Starting that time, I was really touched. So starting there, being with the CPs and the CCGs, going and implementing the activities, even the other person with hearing impairment like me, they started even themselves realizing that we can do many things. Again, being trained on different tools that we are using in Mekwe, like intersectionality tool, it helped me really build my confidence, even my skills, and even by working hands in hands with the different CPs, it really built my experience. Even traveling, coming from Rwanda, coming to Kenya, and being trained on different tools, I learned many things that I can use in my daily life, even when I'm doing or implementing many activities in my daily work. So I can say that I have grown professionally comparing to before I joined the Make Web program. I can say even participating in the, for example, in the event, but the time when I'm presenting, I'm seeing the people interested, they are following. Yeah. I realize that I'm really improving because the way I'm now able to train people to speak in front of the audience, it totally changed. I can say it changed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those inspiring stories and taking us through how you've grown professionally and the heart touching stories that you have had to experience on the Makeway program. And truly, this shows the impact of the program on individuals, and you extended this to communities. So, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We are curious to know, have you mentored or helped another person because of all these many amazing things that you've gotten to learn in the Makeway program? Is there a story you can share with us briefly for who you actually mentored, how you helped them transition from what they didn't know to what they know now, and how that's going? We will start with you, Mbabazi.
Yes, I've had, as I mentioned, that I'm one of the make intersectionality trainer or tools. I'm a trainer on intersectional tools. I've mentored or I have shared my experiences with a lot of partners, Makeway partners or allies. So I've been trying to explain what intersectionality is, how helpful it is, how it personally helps the organizations grow. I believe a lot of organizations in Makeway, especially in the Rwandan context, have been able to actually fundraise a lot of funds because of using intersectionality, because of considering every young person with vulnerabilities, because it helps you be strategic in a way of accommodating if for different vulnerabilities even way before the implementation during the designing of the projects. So I have been able to mentor different allies, Makeway allies, whenever I get a chance to speak about intersectionality. I feel privileged, and I'm always willing to share how it has shaped me, changed my mindset. It has helped me grow professionally and I mean, in different ways. I have also mentored young girls in safe spaces, which I cannot leave out. I have been able to mentor communities on how they view different vulnerabilities, on fighting stereotypes and gender norms when it comes to certain things. So I would say I have been able to mentor young girls, young people in our safe spaces, and also Makeway allies on how important intersectionality is, on how we should be very intentional when addressing different vulnerabilities when it comes to young people, especially in accessing SRHR. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Mbambas. It's so inspiring to know that you've gotten time to mentor even young girls in safe spaces and all the amazing things that you do. We really pray that this continues beyond the Makeway programs, that we can continue to make impact on the ground. Eric, how about you? Have you mentored anyone, except the story you told us about how you were called up front with those young people? Do you have another story where you can share with us where you mentored a young person?
But let me start with my own organization, Rwanda National Union of the Deaf. So at NUD, Rwanda National Union of the Deaf is a member of NUDOR. NUDOR is a national union of organization of persons with disabilities organizations. But I can say in NUDOR, even in our organization, we can say that youth are represented with our influence, with the influence of Makeway. I can say I am chairing now the youth section in my organization. For that, we are dealing with all challenges that the youth are facing, and we report to the board of my organization in order to decide accordingly on how they can solve them. So not only on Rwanda National Union of the Deaf only, but I can say that I'm being invited with different group of categories to come and share with them my experience. And I'm really changing their mindset. For example, on the specific terms that are used on person with disabilities, these pejorative terminologies that are handling us, I'm now changing them. Again, the mentality people have on a person with disabilities vis-a-vis on sexual reproductive health services. I'm now explaining to them that being the fact that you are a person with disabilities does not have any relation with the sexually active. But sometimes people think that the fact that you are with a disability, you are sexually inactive. You see, or it can affect you being sexually active. And sometimes, for example, in the where people are offering services about SRHR, we are going there, we are training them at the hospitals, at the Rwanda National Police. We are explaining to them about all these services that they are offering, that they're delivering, that they need to be accessible for all, that they need to think on how they can help, they can accommodate anyone. So I can say many things. This is what I can share in a brief if the time allows. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric, for sharing. And we really appreciate the good work that you are doing. It is very nice to listen from the Rwandan context, the good work that is ongoing. So I want to thank you for creating time to join us, Eric, Mbambazi, and Fidel for joining us, and also to thank Warindi and Bertha for creating this wonderful time. Just to remind you that we are having our next episode, so please remember to join us. And also just follow us on our podcast, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. See you in the next episode. Bye.